The difference between waterless and rinseless wash.
Hi, I'm Yvan.
I'm Nick.
And this is the DIY Detail Podcast. Today, we're going to delve into why we have a waterless and a rinseless, and what's the difference between the two of them, because there is a really big difference.
The hottest product these days is our waterless wash. I've been actually pleasantly surprised because, I don't know, detailers don't use waterless washes all that much. At least I never did. But we're getting such good feedback from detailers and enthusiasts. The smell is amazing. Our waterless wash is ceramic infused. I'm just actually really excited that people are loving it so much, but we still get a lot of questions. Well, can I use this as this, and can I use that as that? And there's no one better to answer those questions than Mr. LaCroix.
So let's start off. The rinseless wash, ours has been since the beginning of us, but waterless washes and rinseless washes have coexisted for almost 30 years now. And the waterless wash actually predated the rinseless wash. There was waterless washes around a lot longer before. There is a substantial chemical difference between the two of them. And one of the easiest ways of thinking about it and visualizing this chemical difference is a rinseless wash is designed to be used with a wet wash media. So your wash media, be it the legacy sponge, be it a mitt, be it a microfiber towel, has to be wet with the product to be used with it. Whereas a waterless wash, you have no water, your wash media is actually dry. You're using a dry microfiber towel. Now, the chemical package that allows one or the other is very different. And we have the question, you've answered the question a lot of, I've answered the question a lot is, well, why can't I just concentrate the rinseless wash a little more and it'll do the job? There are some companies that tell you to do that. And while it does work, it's not the ideal situation. It's not the best way of doing it because the waterless wash has a very different emulsifier package that breaks down and encapsulates that dirt, whereas the rinseless has more surfactants. So if you over concentrate the rinseless, you're getting actually too many surfactants on the surface. With the waterless wash, people say, well, why can't I just dilute the waterless wash and use it as a rinseless? Well, once again, very different chemical package. And now those emulsifiers that are designed to be suspended in a certain way, you're over diluting them. They're no longer safely protecting your paint during that wash process.
And I just love having the waterless wash. Like, let's say there's drips after my detail is over, or you go through the car wash and there's drips down the mirror. Just with a towel, you spray the waterless wash on there. There's a bug gut on my paint, right? And I just want to safely remove it after I've had a ceramic coating on there. It's nice for interior wipe downs. It smells really nice. It's got that ceramic infused protection. I just really like the idea of having a ready to use bottle that has its own role. But there's going to be people, Yvan, who just heard your explanation and they're like, okay, I kind of get that, but why can't I just spray on rinseless and do the same thing?
Well,
in a bottle.
Yeah, the most important part of that is the rinseless is designed to be used with a wet wash media. So if you just spray your rinseless on at normal concentration, 250, 6-to-1, or 4 milliliters to a liter, or let's say you under dilute it and you do it at 100-to-1, whatever, it's still not designed to provide the proper lubrication and safety using a dry wash media. And that's where the big difference is. So the wash media is the real differentiator between the two. The rinseless, if you use it with a wet wash media, it's no longer a waterless because that wash media has to be in a bucket. It has to be wet, and you're constantly going back and forth to the bucket. The waterless, the way it picks the dirt up off the surface, attaches it to the towel, and we keep rotating the towel. We keep going to a fresh side of the towel because that dirt doesn't get deposited somewhere like in the bucket with the rinseless wash. So very different there. But as you mentioned, there are a lot of uses for the waterless wash that someone who never intends to ever waterless wash their vehicle, they still should have it in their toolkit. Because waterless wash, like you say, for bird bombs, you're going out, you walk out from the shopping mall, you see the bird used your car as a toilet, time to bring out the waterless wash. Quickly get it off there, and it's safe, it's easy, it's simple. Again, bug guts, like you mentioned. And for the detailer, you're doing that last little walk around. You've detailed the whole car. You're just doing that last little inspection. Oh, there's a little smudge here. There's a drip coming from the mirror. There's a drip coming from the door handle. Oh, I missed part of this door jamb. It's great for door jams. Yeah, door jams, it's spectacular. Because, especially like on a hatchback, the trunk jam, it's hard to get in there with a pressure washer without getting the whole interior wet. It's difficult when you're using a wash mitt getting in there and you have to rinse it out and all that. So if you have a hatchback, this is, my favorite one is the Waterless Wash for that door jam specifically. So the hatch is just easy to get to, and SUVs, etc. So it has a lot of uses, and even if you're never going to use it as a waterless wash. Now, waterless washes get a bad rap, personally, I think, because some companies overmarket their waterless wash. Like, it will do everything. You've been off-roading with your car, just spray some waterless wash on it and you'll wash it without scratching it. That's a complete lie.
Yeah, way too overmarketed.
Yeah, no. So waterless wash has its place. It is to clean a clean car. And that's a weird way of saying it. You have a bit of dust on your car. You have a bit of pollen. You've driven to the show. So the day before you wash your car, Saturday morning, the car show is there. You drive to the car show. You drive across the lawn of the car show. You get a bit of moisture up from the grass on the rocker panels. That's great. During the show, people are touching your car, even though you're asking them not to. But people have to touch. Oh, it's so nice. Anyways, you can get those greasy little fingerprints off that car using a waterless wash. You can easily walk around. The ceramic protection in it is not a long-term protection. Never is intended to be. It's a 2-3 week, maybe a month if you're lucky, protection. It's just there to assist with the protection that's already there. It's not there to provide protection. So
I think it's great to just say that we're not trying to make waterless anything that it's not. It has a lane and it does that thing very well. It's super convenient, and it's certainly a product that you're going to want to have in your arsenal. Whereas Rinseless is the most versatile product we have. I mean, it can do a lot of these things, but it's so interesting that you mentioned it. Just, to do it the right way, the way that the chemist has scienced this out is to use a wet wash media, which no longer means it's waterless. And it's like, oh yeah, okay, I get it now. Because rinseless just means you don't have to rinse at the end, right? If you're doing a safe rinseless wash, we'll often pre-treat it, pressure wash it off, then treat it again with rinseless, then take our wet legacy sponge, duck it in the rinseless wash bucket, and wash the car. So if you want a safe wash, we're telling you how to do it very safely with rinseless. Waterless is for pretty clean paint.
Yeah, waterless is, again, if if the only vehicle you drive is a Jeep and you only drive it off road, yeah, you probably won't need to buy a waterless wash. But if your daily driver, just that little touch up, you're in traffic and you got dust on your dash, reach for your waterless wash and just wipe it off. You have a spill in the vehicle. You can quickly wipe it off using the waterless wash, and safely, even on piano black and on the the nav screen, things like that. It makes an okay glass cleaner. To me, it's a little, how can I say, not the best use of it because it's not a cheap product. And, we have the crystal clear glass cleaner, which is spectacular at cleaning glass. We have Rinseless, which is great at cleaning glass. This is great at cleaning glass as well, but I would caution against cleaning the glass inside the vehicle with it, because anything that has protection can cause fogging on the inside of your vehicle if the conditions are correct. So you don't want to use anything with a wax, a sealant, or a ceramic on the inside of your windows.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so as far as, waterless wash goes, is there anything that you would say is your favorite thing to use with it?
I like a relatively high nap towel, and be very gentle. And a couple reasons for the high nap towel. One is just the softness of it, but also the thickness. Where we get marring, no matter how you're washing your vehicle, be it with a wash mitt, be it with the legacy sponge, or be it with a dry microfiber towel using a waterless wash, where we get into problems and where people actually cause marring is by pressure points. So having that towel folded, and instead of folding it in 4, I like to fold it in 6. It fits my hand a little better, and at the same time, it's giving me another 2 layers of towel, preventing those pressure points.
Because you never go for the plush towel. You're always a short nap guy. So I was like, why does he like the plush towel? It's like, oh yeah, to avoid pressure points on a inherently risky wash process. If you're going to do this without pre-treating and rinsing first, it better be a pretty dang clean car. And we're going to rely on the chemistry of this product and a plush microfiber with no pressure. And then the rolling towel method where you get a little bit on the towel, then you keep using a clean part of the towel as you go, right? So you're not driving anything in.
Yeah. So think of waterless washing as a precision wash, but it's not a fast wash. It's not a speedy wash. It is not it's not the most time efficient way of washing your car. But like I say, there are a lot of circumstances where waterless wash is king. Like I said, you're at the show, you're at Cars and Coffee. If you own a dealership, maintaining the cars in the showroom, great way of doing it with a waterless wash. The waterless wash, because of its emulsifiers as well, is actually a good pre-spray for the rinseless wash process. So if you have a lot of bugs on the front and you've got a sealant, you've got a wax on there that are not really resistant to chemicals, and you don't want to use an APC to break down those bugs. Well, Rinseless Wash does a great job of breaking them down, but it takes a bit of time. If you're a bit of a time crunch or you have a lot of bugs on there, the Waterless Wash actually does a really good job of breaking down and emulsifying, because that's what it's designed to do. So even though the Rinseless does a great job at it, the Waterless Wash does a better job, and it's safer than the All Clean on insects and bird bombs and things like that.
How is it safer than All Clean? I was going to ask, when would you use it versus All Clean in that situation?
Well, because All Clean being a pH of 13 or 12, 13, depending on your water, what it's going to do is, if you have a wax or a sealant, it's going to break it down. If you have a ceramic coating, don't worry about it. Spray your car down with All Clean as much as you want. But the waterless wash, it's a relatively neutral pH. Therefore, it's not going to attack your wax. So you won't have to re-wax your car afterwards.
That makes sense. People ask, will All Clean break down my sealant? And I just tell them, it's so hard to know for sure based on what product you applied, how long do you let the All Clean dwell. But it's safe to say it will have some effect on the overall longevity if you give it a lot of dwell time on the paint. But it shouldn't do that at all with a good ceramic coating like ours, because they are chemically resistant.
Yeah. With a ceramic coating, don't worry about it. But nonetheless, the All Clean, fabulous cleaner, but the waterless wash, because of its emulsifiers and its lubrication, is actually a safer pre-treat for things like that than the All Clean. Now, it's not great at breaking down grease and dirt, or grease and oils. So yes, it does break them down, but again, there's where the All Clean is your better choice. So waterless wash is not for everything, and that's something that a lot of people, they've been marketed to before by other companies, touting that this waterless wash does everything. And I pulled up to a gas station the other day, and there's someone like, hey, I can wash your car. And, you can buy this product and do it yourself at home. It's like, well, I pretty much know a little about doing detailing myself. But,
that's funny.
Just please stay away from my car. It's fine. Yeah. You don't need to touch my car with your waterless wash product.
And the chamois.
Chamois, they washed 18 other cars with the same cotton towel. Not happening. But nonetheless, a lot of companies have unfortunately marketed waterless wash as this miracle product that does everything. And no, it doesn't do everything. And it's not a miracle product. You have to use it intelligently. You have to know its limitations. And you can creep up on those limits. It's like, I've got a bit of dirt here. Let's see what it does. And yes, you can, work up to it. But think of it as, it is a cleaning aid for my already pretty much clean car. It's just that little touch up between washes. That's what the waterless wash is for.
It's also great on classic cars where you kind of risk getting rust if you're using a lot of water, right? Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So on classic cars, with all that beautiful chrome trim, that chrome trim is actually held on with clips that are clipped through holes in the body. So every time you rinse down that beautiful antique car, you're getting water behind the trim into the panels, like inside the door, inside the fender, basically anywhere where you actually don't want water to be going. So the waterless wash is just a very simple way. And most people that have classic cars are not driving them through a snowstorm. They're not driving them, through a heavy rainstorm unless they're forced to. They're not going off road with them. So with the classic car, it's a great thing. And like I said, you get to the show, you're showing off your car at the classic car show. It's just a nice way to keep it glossy throughout the day, keep it clean, keep those fingerprints off, and just, keep it nice and pristine. And just before the judges come, give it a little wipe down.
Yeah, it's just, for me, it's like, I don't know, we were polishing a car in Eddie Cologne's garage. It was a Jeep. And it was like, there was this little drip, and it was like, well, my waterless wash gives me a little clean, gives me a little protect, like a little bit of clean, a little bit of shine. I'm not asking it to be the monster cleaner. I'm not asking it to be a ceramic coating. I don't mind that it shines it up a little bit, right? And so it's like, could I have sprayed that area down with Rinseless? If it was just, I guess I could have, right? Even though I that's not the usage for it, but waterless wash just felt like the right product at the time. And it smells nice, and yeah, it's just a nice product. Just have a bottle in your garage, use it as you decide you want to use it. Like if you're spraying down a door jamb or something at the end of a detail, you might have your bottle of Rinseless, and you might even have a wet towel, but then you got to dry it back down with dry. Or you might spray Rinseless with a dry towel, which Yvan has advised you not to do. But you're going to get more shine from the waterless, right? So you're getting that 2-in-1. It's just, it's nice. It's nice. Any other big mistakes people have made? We may not need to belabor this topic too much longer, but just like any other things you've seen where, don't use waterless wash that way, or don't confuse the two, right? Because it can get confusing.
Well, yeah, again, it's the confusion of the two. And people that aren't initiated into the world of rinseless washing, they don't comprehend difference between rinseless and waterless. To them, it's just a different way of saying the same thing. It is not the same thing. They're two very, very different chemicals. They work differently. They're designed to do two completely different things. So, look up in the detailer's dictionary, the difference between rinseless and waterless. There is a difference. Chemically, there's a big difference. Mechanically, there's a difference as well. And how they're supposed to be used, how they're designed to be used is very different. And you can cause problems using a rinseless as a waterless, and you can cause problems using a waterless as a rinseless. So we want you to be safe in your cleaning. We want your car to be safe. We want your paint to stay beautiful as long as it can. So don't try to dilute a rinseless into a waterless, and don't try to reduce a waterless into a rinseless. It's just not going to work out well for you.
I've been telling you don't try those things, but you do want to try a couple things. And one of them is in the corner of the screen right now. There's actually a video about how to use waterless wash, right? And then in the center of the screen, I'm going high tech, Yvan.
Okay.
In the center, we're actually going to give them Rinseless Wash University. So either learn more about how to actually use a waterless wash on an old classic car, or get your notebooks out, because you're going to learn all about how to use Rinseless Wash, which is just a hugely fundamental part of detail.
Very good. We'll see you in the next one.